Good evening, Mr. Ronald 8.
Hi.
Pleasure to have you here. As you know, so I introduced myself before. I'm Parrales, and CEO of the Olam Finance, which is a company which we actually helping people in Latin America to understand about technology, blockchains, finance, trading. So now I'm very glad, to be honest, to have the pleasure to have this interview with you. And we're going to go through some questions about this beautiful project called Cloud with you, as you the founder. So again, thanks for the time. The first question people would like to know is many people say that you were the Minister of Defense in Malaysia. Is there any way to verify this? Could you as well talk a bit about your business experience in the field?
So basically, when I was, my first job was actually with a ISP. It's called AIMS, Applied Information Management Systems. Okay. So basically, I handled the the Malaysian Stock Exchange. They call it Bursa. Okay. And the time we were using dial-up modems, right? Okay. So we actually had to really design a lot of crazy stuff using modems. Okay. And one of the things that we actually pioneered was to do signaling using the 24 kilohertz modems and the 56 kilohertz modems. So from that itself, I actually moved on. I actually developed a lot of things along the way, and internet was just non-existent then. It was BBS days. So you have to dial up to certain BBS sites. Everything was text-based. You're talking about 808, 286, 386 kind of era then, right? So I was already in the field of programming and doing all this other stuff, but a pretty low-level engineer then. Okay. I was still doing my diplomas. So it's a 4 years thing. So it's a part-time. I have to work and I have to actually study at the same time. So after that, actually, I developed a dating website. Actually, it's called Carikawan in Malaysia itself, CARIKWAN, which got bought by a listed company in Malaysia called Malaysian Online. All right. And then they actually subsequently sold it and it became Asian Friend Finder, which I think everybody knows it. Yeah. So basically, I then moved on to work for a company that actually does internet. It's like eBay, but before eBay days. All right. Okay. So we actually started doing, but the weird thing is, I actually hacked my way into the company. So basically, they were the first in Malaysia to actually have a this swapping service, all right, like eBay. Wow. Basically, I hacked the service provider. I went to their account and I discovered the flaws, which I told them, and they actually had me as one of their advisors to actually help them do it. And while doing that site, we actually helped the company build a lot of other stuff. And then we actually built this thing called the Auto World, which is doing a lot of car stuffs, which is we pioneered the internet loan for cars. Which is actually bought by a bank called Hong Leong Bank in Malaysia as well. Oh. And then actually moved on into a MSC-based company, which stands for Multimedia Super Corridor Company, that actually does a lot of e-commerce applications. The time B2B just was a coin by Alibaba wasn't even big then, right? Okay. So we are doing a lot of B2C stuff. Actually, I did the first sites. My team and we did the first sites for MSN Malaysia for Yahoo. So we actually ran Yahoo's shopping portal based in Malaysia and as well as MSN. Then I actually came out of the company and started my own stuff, which I actually helped Motorola and a few big other corporations build a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Then I went into a local company called Sapore Defense.
Okay.
So that is actually a local-based company that actually handle Ministry of Defense projects. I was actually involved in the Lima Airshow project, which is the Langkawi International Maritime Airshow. They held every year from then until now. Basically, what I did there was actually I built a system for them to actually, which is using the UNSPSC standards to actually pull parts in for every equipment that is available in the UN list. Okay, for example, if you pull a aircraft in, right? So everything from the wheels to the tire of the wheels to the nut and the bolt, wow, everything has a code there. So we actually built a system for them to organize all of these things. And I was with the MOD for about maybe 6 months or so to build the whole project itself. And then I actually went into doing the KL International Airport project. So I was one of those that actually was lucky enough to actually play with the convey system, which is the baggage system. Okay. Yeah, so I got a lot of all this MRP experience, and actually it got very, very bored from me then, right? So then I moved on, and I told myself that I need to really, really do something that I would love to do. And one of the things that I actually wanted to do was to actually make my own phones. Okay, at the time, Symbian Series 60 was only the beginning, right? Where Java J2ME was just launched. Most of the phones are really what we call them feature phones, whereby you can't actually install anything on it. So I wanted to actually modify my first Nokia phone then. So there's no information available and no Google. By the way, there's no Google then. It was Alta Vista at the time.
Which age were you talking about at that time? Which year? Which year?
I think it's about 97.
97, yeah.
96, 97.
Wow.
So we're talking about Alta Vista days. You have things like Lycos and all this sort of search engines then, right? Wow. And they were pretty stupid search engines whereby everything is manually indexed, right? So and then Google came out with their automatic search paging, the page ranking thing, and it just revolutionized the whole search industry. So basically, it was before then, and basically, long story short is I actually went over to Hong Kong, joined a, they call it IDH, Independent Development House. So basically what we do is we take in projects from various organizations, for example, like Motorola, Nokia, or Sony Ericsson, to actually build certain parts of the phone. So I was actually lucky enough to be handling one of the Samsung, LG, Sewon, and there's one more brand I can't remember. One of their projects, and I was sent to Korea to actually handle that. So I was in Korea for nearly 1.5 years, 2 years, and we actually learned how to actually make phones itself, but it's only using a very traditional way of doing phones. At the time, to make a phone, you need about maybe 800 over components or so. Wow. So it's you need really a team of 40 people to actually make it work. Okay. Wow. But along the years, when I was actually making phones, things get easier and easier. Now, to make a phone, you probably need like less than 60 components. Wow. All right. And you need probably just 2 hardware engineers and probably 2 software engineers. That's about it, right? Everything is so modular. The frameworks are all there. You just need to compile, and if you don't need anything much, you just build it, right? Yep. So it was pre-Android. It was all this pre-smartphones, pre-iPhone days, right? We're talking about. So we actually built a lot of these phones, and I was lucky enough to be working on the Skyworks project. Skyworks is a we call it DSP chip that powers the phone. All right. A lot of Nokia, Sony Ericsson phones. It was still Sony Ericsson then. They
Wow.
were using a lot of these chips, right?
I used to
So
have one from Tenga. They were very good from Sony Ericsson.
yeah, the Z10s and things like that. Yeah, they're very good ones.
Magic Flap, very good.
Yeah, we actually did a lot of this development, and I was in Aalborg, Denmark, to actually build this. So it was pretty fun. And yeah, but you know, in Denmark, probably we work about 4 hours a day.
Wow.
They really practice the 4 quadrants of life really to the dot. So we start at 7, we would end at about 11 o'clock, and then it's just like enjoying life. But when most of them, yeah.
Yeah. How many of those phones you build at the end? Like how many of you?
I lost count. I have this huge box. Maybe with 200 over models, 300 over models.
Wow.
So that's a lot of them. You know, in China, when we build phones, right, we actually don't change the guts a lot. So the component stays the same. We just relay out the board, and then we do a new ID for it. The industrial design. So the industrial designers will design the how it looks like on the outside, and the molding, everything will come in. So we actually have the mechanical designers to actually do the 3D design, and there was no 3D printer then. So we had to actually get to the mold guys to actually fabricate it. 2 weeks, come back, and then test it, whether the board can fit and things like that, and all the hardware goes in, right? So the whole process actually takes a long time, like probably 3 months to prototype and things like that. But we have a very tight deadline, right? So every 4 months we have to launch a phone. So 4 phones in a year, and we have actually 6 to 10 teams to launch a lot of phones. And so basically I was in the software side itself. So we actually did a few cool things. When Samsung launched MP3 on their phones with camera on the phones, right? We actually did this cool stuff for them. We did a karaoke version whereby we can actually mute the left channel, right channel. So you can actually sing with voice or not with voice. And because of the RAM limitation, right? Everything has to be in looped GIF. So we have a very small GIF file, probably you're talking about 50, 60K GIF file on a 64 by 128 by 128 or 128 by 64 screen, whether it's a portrait or landscape mode, right? So it was really small. And we actually overlay the words on top of it using the lyrics LRC format. So it was a hit in China, actually. So we have this very nice small phone, clamshell. When you actually close it down, it becomes a mirror in front. And the girls love it because they can actually use it as a mirror. When you can actually turn it to karaoke mode and you have that playing. So it's pretty fun. So we actually sold about 2 million units of it. And that's where I started to exit from the phone industry. At the same time itself, I actually came out to build my own company to build the next evolution of what I want to do. So I always wanted to actually build a platform for all of these feature phones. Smartphones wasn't available then, right? Okay, to actually be able to let all these phones to have a platform to install stuff on it. It's like not as drastic as Android, but it's like I need to have some layer there, like WAP or some kind of layer, or like Java. So the phones can be installed with stuffs, and there can be an ecosystem running on top of it. And I came out and I developed a virtual machine, okay, which is non-Java, and it runs on roughly 80% of the chipsets that is available from all the different type of suppliers like MediaTek, TI, TI Calypso. It runs on that. It's a very, very low powered phone. It runs on the Sajam, it runs on Wavecom, it runs on Skyworks. It runs on a lot of other platforms. So we actually cross-compiled everything, and the stack of the VM is only about 60K big. So it's really, really small.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, for a 2 Mac phone, 60K is quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And from that itself, I started this company called MaxiTech, and that's where my first angel investor came, and which is a Singaporean, Mr. Au. And he actually works for a company called ASAR. ASAR is a semi-government technology company in Singapore. And basically, he guided me on how to actually do this business. So we actually launched around the world, Indonesia. Every 10 phones that goes to Indonesia, 9 would have my platform. And it has a game engine that you can actually run games on it and things like that. We had a full platform running. We had short codes in Indonesia, because that time, in order to pay for stuff on the phone, you use SMS, right? So SMS, you must have a short code. I think it's quite popular in Latin America as well. Until it got abused, right? So basically, we pioneered that, and we were actually getting good results from that. And one of the other things is we actually developed a lot of other products onto it. One of it was we actually hooked up with BBM, but not the messenger, but BlackBerry's mail services. So in Indonesia then, right, they literally have this keyboard kind of phone, those BlackBerry clones. And what we did was we actually we wrote a push mail client on top of it, and you can actually get push mail just like how you can get it from BlackBerry phones. And it was a hit in Indonesia itself. That's one of the things that propelled us. We actually toyed with the idea of getting free calls, giving free calls to anyone that actually uses our phones. So one of the things that we used to actually make it economy sustainable, because instead of me paying or the company paying for the call, we actually got the users to listen to a 15 seconds advertisement, and then they can actually make a 30 seconds call.
Okay. Wow.
And then you will interject in. So we actually had this going on. It was quite a hit, because people are calling IDD calls. Because Indonesia is very big, right? So they have actually called across places, and it was really, really cool. It was very fun. We actually did a lot of good. And while we were having so much fun for the next 4 years, my company got bought over by a Singapore-based listed company called The Cloud, which all of this you can actually check from Google itself, right?
That's very good. It's important because the audience, like, I know after that people they will go and check, and that's why it's good that you, to be honest with you, I like a kid listening like a history where you start to build all the the what they used to be at that time. But when you say in the name, it's very great, and I'm very thankful to you that people can actually see all this. Actually, thank you. Amazing job.
Well, one of the funny thing is, I was in Singapore trying to apply for my US visa, right? So I went for the interview. And there were a lot of people in front of me, so there are a lot of Chinese and things like that. And I keep hearing this thing of rejected. So it's like, oh my gosh. And when it came to me, so he took my passport, and he actually did some search. He said like, you are an entrepreneur. Oh, you have patents. You have this. You have that. Okay, collect your visa next 2 days. Like, okay. I didn't even say anything at all. He just took my passport and he searched for me.
But the America searching system. Before you come in.
No, basically, I'm not sure how they actually got all this. I think probably it's a Google search or some kind of search.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so I was,
But
basically, I can be searched.
But I think what you've been doing there in Asia in the building of different company, you were working with quite good name company even in that time, and you were like development, like a technology, like some platform, like until then, nobody have done it. So of course, they Google it, you will appear there. Plus the American, they take time to understand.
Yeah, but basically, one of the things happened after that was the reason why I need to go to US was because we were in a partnership with WBF, World Blockchain Forum then. What happened was I was actually developing a blockchain platform called Array, and I actually wanted to make it to become open source and free for all. So it's one of those blockchains that actually is gasless, feeless, right? Following the footsteps from what IOTA did, I think that is actually quite noble, whereby there's no fees, and it actually is a self-sustaining platform itself, whereby if you want to join this network, you need to actually perform more tasks than you actually issue a task. So we actually try to follow and mimic the good parts about all the platforms that is available around. The technologies that we're using is not something that we actually pluck from the air. It's actually studied from basically what has been done in the past. Because most of the problem with the blockchains are the technology that they implement was quite old, all right, and it's quite outdated. If you're talking about nowadays, everything is real time. Okay, we are very fond of databases. But one thing about a database different than a blockchain is a database only exists in one place. But a blockchain is a database that actually exists everywhere and is the same and it gets synced, right? So actually it's not difficult to mimic this, okay? It's just that how are we going to do this? And at the time itself, there are many new developments that actually came out, like block lattice, the technology, how you can actually write a block ahead of time. So these are all very good technology which we take in. And of course, the time IPFS was just beginning, and using the BitTorrent methodology, using the something like a fat table, okay, to actually organize where are all the parts and things like that, with bit swapping technology, which is used in Git as well. So we actually took a lot of this and actually we made something that works for us, which is in Aura itself. For example, like the Whisper protocol, right? So in Whisper protocol, it's actually quite messy the way they do it. I need to connect to a lot of people, and I need to tell everyone what is going on, and from there it spreads out, right? Like a fan. So basically, we believe that it can be done in a much better way, and because I've been developing mobile phones for a long time, and actually I worked with carriers before, and one of the things that we actually do is we work a lot with switches, and one of the switches that we worked with was Cisco. And in Cisco itself, there are a lot of layer 2 protocols that actually is superb, okay? For example, when we talk about broadcast, right? Broadcast, everybody knows that is I send one time, everybody receive. But how is it actually done? So on a phone itself, we have to use a IP multicasting technique to actually do it. So we actually implemented IP multicast on our device itself in order to shoot it to our routers to broadcast the message out. So it's like one phone. Want to send something out, I just send it to the router. The router will broadcast it out to everyone that's connected to it one time. All right. Instead of Whisper, whereby you have to fan it out. Right. Of course, there's good and there's bad because I rely on routers, which is already there, by the way. So if you're talking about real peer-to-peer, it means that you must have some router, right? You must have something to connect people together. And why don't you just use a router to do it? Okay, so basically we are using that, and we call it a short protocol. But one thing to actually fit through the IP multicasting layer or the protocol is we need to modify our packets, how it goes through. So that's where we actually got a lot of people to help us out to actually modify the packets. And one of the things that we borrowed from BitTorrent was their micro transport protocol, MTP. And that itself is because UDP itself is unordered, right? So the phones itself needs a lot of power to actually reorder the messages that comes in. So using MTP itself is TCP, but stripped off of all the compliance, all the headers, and it's self-ordered. So we actually use that to actually send things over, but it's really fast. So we borrowed that as well, and we actually built what we have now today. From then on, actually, we launched a couple of ICO projects then, talk bad about Bitcoin and the and I saw Samson Mao down there looking at me and said, "What is this guy talking about?" So it was really a weird experience. But it was cool because after my talk, one of the head engineers in Cisco actually came to me and said that they didn't even know that on Cisco routers you can actually do such things. That, we didn't know as well until we figured that it might work.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty funny experience for us then as well. So anyway, cut things short.
In which year was that? 2009, is it?
2008, 2018. If I'm not mistaken, it's sometime October, November. I think.
2018.
Yeah.
Last year.
So but basically the market was very bad for ICOs then, and no one was actually investing. The Bitcoin price was all-time low. I think it was about maybe 3,000 plus, right? And it was really bad. Yeah, and
it was really bad in that time for the ones that buy, or not for the ones that buy in that time, and now it's a very good time for them.
Yeah, of course, right? But no one was actually investing in ICOs anymore. So the plan whereby Mr. Zhao tried to actually raise funds for BBS, Bitbeta really failed. So we told him that since that whatever he promised to us, he can actually come in to do it. We are going to call it quits. There was sometime in November, December-ish, right? At that time, 2018, and so he actually said that why don't we help him one more time to actually look into a wallet project. And to us, wallet projects are very simple, right? Which is just a wallet to store cryptocurrencies. That's it, right? So we built one that actually stored cryptocurrency and said that, oh, this is not actually called a wallet. And he then said that he wanted something like the other projects, right? So we looked into it because we didn't know how it actually worked at all. Actually, it's quite complex. The calculation part was super complex, right? You have to mix the affiliate programs with crypto, and there are a lot of
the exchange,
a lot of things in between, and it took us a while to actually understand what it actually wanted to do, right? And so I actually was invited over to China to sit down with the project owners. There was 15 of them then, and basically they told me one thing: all of them has been in various projects and they are being burned. They're being scammed before, and the highest record was it was like 1 point something million for one or two of them, and they were badly burned. So what they wanted to do was to build a project that can sustain and is real. I told them that if it needs to be real, a real project, you need to. So we actually did not know what wallet was all about. to us, wallets were just a app that actually holds in all the cryptocurrencies. But they were so complex. What we learned that we need to build was with a lot of affiliate calculation and a lot of other sort of things that we had to learn how to do. Okay, so we actually were talking to this 15 guys, 15 leaders to actually start this project, and I actually got to sit down with them and actually talk with every single one of them, and a lot of them actually got burned from previous projects, and there are a lot of projects which I just got to know then. And some actually got burned quite deeply, millions of dollars, right? Basically what they wanted was to build a project that can actually really sustain and that is real. And I told them that, you know, the blockchain is actually not capable of doing high transactions for that. And they have to go centralized in no matter how, even though when we actually do actual trading, even the decentralized exchange, which wasn't popular then, you're only talking about Kraken probably, but it's still very low volume, and you can't actually make the numbers that they're trying to hit. Okay, so there were a lot of questions which I actually bounced back to them, and basically the idea of what they wanted to build was to build an ICO project at the first beginning. That was the cloud token then. And the idea was to sell a lot of cloud tokens. But when I told them that, you know, if you were to sell the cloud tokens, then how would the investors that bought your token, how are they going to actually gain? And what is the mechanics like? They said, no, just go exchange, which they have an exchange, their WBF exchange, and it goes up there and they can just sell and those stuff, things like that. And I told them that if they were to do it this way, it cannot work. It's because exchanges is where currencies or cryptocurrencies can be manipulated in price. All right, and we've seen a lot of cases whereby ICOs goes up, the price is pumped all the way up, and then it goes stagnant, and then it will just drop. We call this a door effect, right? It becomes like a door.
I think 90% of the ICOs, I'm sorry, they did that.
Actually, just not ICOs. You look at IEO nowadays, it's about the same, but it's just multiple small doors. Right. So I told them that if I am to be involved in this project, there are 5 things that they need to promise me that I can take control of. Number 1 is it will never be an ICO project. Okay, it needs to be a utility token project, which by we have to build an ecosystem, okay, that will be able to really have a sustainable economy for it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I have full access to the trades and I can show whatever I want to show to all the investors. It needs to be transparent. All right, because every one of the partners, right? And the third thing that we need to do, learning from past mistakes, because number 2 is I actually, you know, when I told you before, I've actually joined several ICOs. One of them was actually a merchant chain, Plaza Systems. They are not transparent at all, and they use my name and it crashed. So I don't want things to happen like that. I have to take control of this. So it must be transparent. We need to show people what we are doing. And the number 3 and most important thing that we need to do is we need to be legal. So we need to have a team of lawyers to help us do all the legal stuffs. Okay. All right. So these are the 3 things. And the 4th one is, okay, each of them cannot be doing this short term. Once we do this, it's going to be a 3 to 5 years project. This is our beginning. That is our goal. Our goal is to have everyone to carry our wallet and use our token to transact around the world. We want to be bigger than PayPal. So that's what we want to do then. And I have the method to do it. I have the knowledge to do it. I have the experience to do it as well. Okay. And number 5, the most important thing is when the time comes, okay, any member that actually hits a certain level, they must be appointed to become an independent director in the company so that we cannot make any mistakes. They are the guardians of this whole entire business. All right. If we are just running the business ourselves, it's just like we don't need to do it because we're not a public listed company, right? Only public listed companies needs to have independent directors.
Yeah.
But we want to do it is to show that, okay, any company, any projects, this is the most minimum that it should have.
Yeah.
Because we're taking people's money, right?
And I think this is very, very, very honorable and very like wise to do it, because like, you know, 2 brains thinks better than 1, and 10 brains are better than, and people have different experience in different fields. And if they are working hard to bring people's money on board, I think they're gonna have the right to have a voice into the bigger decision. So
yes,
all that a big 10 for so
yeah.
far.
So we are practicing it. We're trying to practice this ahead of time. A lot of decisions for our projects. We actually asked the members to actually let us know what they think and what are their ideas. We did one recently whereby we did ask about the withdrawal process. Or the convert process itself. And one of the things that I think I got flamed a lot by the leaders because I actually did not tell them upfront. I just went towards the community and asked them, which is in normal project terms, right? It's actually trying to kill yourself, right? So basically, I actually asked the public or the community thing. Now we have a problem. The problem is that, okay, there are a lot of conversions that's jamming up the Ethereum network. Okay, we are already expanded so much of wallets that we are actually wasting resources to hold assets into this wallet, waiting for people to withdraw or to convert. We are at our 10th wallet now. Okay, and each of this wallet, if I were to put in about 20,000 Ethereums itself, it's crazy, right?
Wow.
So the amount of money that is inside there, which I can take to trade, right? Now I have to hold it in there and do nothing with it. So, and about Ethereum is to make even worse. We actually gave our public key, the public key of the wallet, to the users, right? And the users can actually lock the account by taking the money out, okay, from the system with 0 gas.
Oh, okay.
Right? So there are people like that. All right. So these are all the weird things that we actually face while we're developing things. Remember, we're not experts in this, so we are the first time dabbling with this, right? And so we try to practice, and of course I got consensus that this is the way to be done and things like that, but we got flame after that. But anyway, we tried. Okay, it's all about social sharing economy, and it's shared responsibility as well, and it's shared decision making. So we try to actually do all of this. So cut a bit,
The blockchain, is it still on the ECR20, or is it private?
No, it's our own array network. Okay. We never run on ERC20. So whatever you see on there, right? It's because in the beginning time, when we began this project, right? There are a lot of scammers, fakers, people trying to imitate us and trying to scam the users by creating all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So it's not ours actually. So we don't need an ERC20. When we actually tried to work with Pundi, or Pundi X invited us to join the network before they kicked us out. Okay, they wanted us to put it onto ERC20 because they can only support ERC20. But when they kick us out, we have our own. We don't need the ERC20 anyway. So we don't even need any one of those. Yeah. So we don't believe in the Ethereum network is because until they really change the platform to be able to handle and scale. Depends on how many members are online at the particular moment. So
what is the highest that have reached?
The highest in lab itself was about over 100,000 with about 1,000 devices. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing because Visa thing is it have the capacity for 50,000, maximum 100,000.
Yeah. I mean, we were comparing ourselves to fight Visa and Masterden, which is 25,000 per second or so, which is centralized solution. The way we're doing it is because each of the phones itself can parallel process transactions. So it's like 1,000 phones can actually process 1,000 transactions at the same time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Great solution. Yeah, because actually the last time I was seeing a video where you were showing like there were the system and you can see all the lights. So that I think the green is when they were transferring, the yellow was when they were like withdrawing, and the other ones they were like doing some transactions.
Yes.
So it looks like only transaction like in the network.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So a lot of things is we try to build and but we are not good communicators. I mean, Asians I think most Asians don't know how to communicate well. So this is one of our problems. And as a young startup company, we do not have the resources to actually get good media communicators. But of course, we are always open for help from the public, from our members to help us out in all of these ways.
Okay.
We started with this project with a lot of hopes put onto Mr. Zhao's team, the WBF media team, to help us build the media side of things. But the whole idea with them was they are very engrossed in China, so they only wanted to build the Chinese network. But when you know how we grew so big, right? So basically we had a meeting in March. So it was March 23rd, okay? And we did not have any robot then, right? So the story was we debuted our app in January 23rd, okay? There's no Jarvis then, there's no trading then. We just have a wallet, just like Coinbase, you can store stuff, that's it, right? And because we needed to have a trading robot, so in February itself, we had we had probably $3 million, I think. So there was like 3 million invested from the 15 guys, and I wasn't a partner then. Okay, I was just an outsourced consultant then. Okay, so I did my first robot trade with Jarvis then, and very simple logics. It's a ping pong model, whereby when it's low in price, you buy, when it's high, you sell, and you keep doing this over and over and over again. While it was doing trade over and over again, for the next 2 weeks itself, I lost 1.7 million.
Okay. I don't want to ask you how was your day in this particular day.
Well, it was really bad. I have to report the 1.7 million loss to these guys.
Oh, wow.
And they nearly coughed up blood, and they wanted me to be changed, of course. But they gave me another second chance. So I did a bit of changes, and in the next before 1 month, before the month ended, I lost all 3 million.
Wow.
So it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But one thing about this 3 million that we learned from was
you will live for a hard time, because actually that happened with me once. Because I'm, my career is a financial broker, and I was like holding when I traded like I invested 1.3 million from some investors. And actually, we lost. It was not 3 million; it was $300,000. But this day, I couldn't even sleep. I was just like, "How am I gonna say to these people?" Like, they actually recovered after. But this day, as you say, I learned it by, and then we start to see what was the mistake, and actually we make the algorithm a better way. So
yeah.
So I can
imagine. So basically, you know how the process is, right? So basically. I was stand in front of this 15 guys, being questioned, and it was really a tough time, right? But basically, the Mr. Zhao's team, which is WPF team, wanted to switch back to the ICO model because I kind of lost their trust. All right, and I said that if you want to do this, then I would not get involved in this project. So there was a big toggle in the organization, and we have not even started yet, actually. So there was just 123 leaders that actually put money into their wallet. That is about it. It's in their wallet. And basically what happened was they were split between two. There were 5 leaders that actually wanted to support me, to give me another go, because they wanted it to be real. The others wanted to recoup their loss, right, by doing the ICO. But we actually split into two, and it was April then, and Mr. Zhao and his team, they went out. They actually had a this notice they put on WBF saying that nothing to do with cloud token. Okay. Yeah. So they actually said that in their post in the blog. Okay. So nothing to do with this. But the problem is his team, the WBF team, is supposed to build the BPO, the business process outsource, to get cloud token to be a legal company, to get the legal license and all the particular stuff, plus all the materials for the education materials and so on and so forth, plus the media side, which is the media broadcast and all stuff, right? Which they did not even do a single thing, right? So now, me with 5 other left owners or leaders, and 123 leaders, those pioneers then, which 60 plus of them left. Okay, so left a small handful of us. We started this, and I developed the next version of Jarvis. But this time we were smart. Okay, what we did was, from the past mistakes of learning to look at things in price, we look at things in volume, in quantity. Whatever you keep, because the thing is, I promised about 6 to 12% or so, right? So the thing is, 6 to 12%, but not in value of monetary value. That will be very difficult to achieve. Actually, it's impossible to achieve.
Yeah, because actually that was one of the question. Like, if you give indication that people receive 6-12% based on their deposit, is any way of guarantee that, and can that figure be higher or lower, or even can get to negative? How do you manage the risk management?
Yeah. So basically to answer this, it's the way we do our trades. We never look at the trades in terms of the value of the coins anymore. We look at the value, the quantity that's given to us. When you give me 1 Ethereum, I need to pay you back 1 Ethereum. Because I'm giving you back CTOs every day, right? And the CTOs is actually worth nothing at all. Okay, we look at this way. CTOs is only backed by assets, okay, which gives it a value. But if you will take out these assets, if you will take it out, let's say you put in 1 Ethereum, and now this Ethereum, let's say, is worth $180, okay, and there's only 1 CTO given to you, means the CTO is $180 because it's like CDP, right? So it's collateralized at that positioning. 1 to 1 equals to 1, right? So now you have this 1, and basically what we do is we need to give you back in CTOs, and if you do not exchange it for a Ethereum itself, whatever I earn is still back in the trading zone trading for you, right? So it's compounded trading. Now, if you calculate this way, I'm giving you back nothing. I'm not, even though I say I give you back 6%, actually I'm not giving you back anything at all,
Mm-hmm.
until you realize it.
Yep.
You get me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
It's the company system plus.
Correct.
It's kind of the person is still keeping the coins there. It's still trading while they haven't withdrawn it.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. Only when you withdraw, then I actually have to realize it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, our bot itself, based on the new algorithm, which we actually look at the quantity, and we actually built a 16-pair arbitrage in exchange trading. So basically, what we do is we take, for example, you give me Ethereum, we take Ethereum and do a indication to calculate what is the velocity of each of these pairs. Are they going up higher, faster, or slower, or which and what? So the whole idea is to take the one Ethereum, switch it around all of these pairs, and come back with more than one Ethereum. Not looking at the price.
Yeah.
One Ethereum, you turn one round, probably you come back with 1.01 or 1.02 Ethereums. All right. We'll take this excess of this Ethereums,
and
dump it into the CDP, okay, as a collateral that should the CTO to you, I take the real actual asset and compound it and trade.
Okay.
That's why I can actually hit such a high number. All right. So actually, we thought about that, and but the most important thing is how can we find a indicator that is so good that can tell us the velocity in real time, right? So we actually met this in Singapore from from Raffles Institute. He's a math professor, super smart guy, kind of geeky. And he gave us this a small glimpse into his green color book, okay, which is to have all his funny strategies. And one of the strategies was called the room, right? And we actually took the room and actually did a bot programming for it. And so we actually programmed it in such a way that it can watch and do all this pairs calculation. The room itself is the brain that actually tells Jarvis how to trade and what is the performance index that it needs to hit with what resources. Okay, so basically all of this in actual terms calculated back one day on an average for volatile market. Okay, not like now, the volatile market, we can hit about 0.7% a day. This is not really spectacular. Bots can actually hit about 1 to 2% a day.
Yeah,
that is the minimum.
Yeah.
We are only getting 0 point something. Okay, but when we actually look at the affiliate payout, right? A perfect tree system. If you have a perfect tree, everything is perfect. We are paying you a month 18.4. If it's a 0.7, I'm getting 21.
Yep, you're going 21. Yep.
Yeah, so that's how we can stay in this sustainable economy.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah. So so it makes sense.
Like, because all the time, of course, like people that will come to participate to a project, they will always ask you, like, how it's possible you can telling me that you can give it 6-10%, because for them in the traditional way to get commissions or let's say interest for the money it's awkward. If
impossible,
you go, for example, here in the UK or in Spain, and you go to somebody and say that there is this program and you can get 6 to 10% monthly, they look at you like straight away like, what? Complicated. Because nowadays, like some people, they put the money, let's say in regulated hedge funds, and then they increase of 10% to gain 3% a year. I'm telling you, because I was working on that. And when you say to people that actually you can make around, let's say 120% a year, or let's say if it's 6%, 72% a year in 12 months. I'm telling you the lowest figure, 6% a month, 72% a year. They will look at you like they run away in the first situation. Like, how? you know, but now the things that you're explaining, things is start to make more sense. That's why I think it's gonna be very important.
The thing is, I believe that it can be even better in the long run. If you look at how crypto has actually evolved nowadays, right? In the beginning, about last year, we just talked about 2018 itself, right? What was there in exchanges? Nothing much, just a crypto exchange. That is about it. And then they started to introduce futures, the margins, lending. All these are all taken from the traditional market to come in, which means that the market is expanding. We're taking traditional money in now, which is good for us.
Yep.
So I believe that it's going to even grow.
Yeah, but as you said, like everything is like take time. Like you said before, when you start with the phones, when you were explaining that you were actually trying to put that note inside the phone, like with different people, with how many pieces. Nowadays, that is like, you know, like all time. So, another question, like it would be interesting, I think, for people. It's like, what percentage of cloud token do you own as one of the founders? Do you have any?
Actually, I'm not the founder. There's no founder here. That's one of the things that I actually told called the pioneers, right? Is that very simple, right? If you were to own a piece of this pie, okay, then it's an ICO, because there's this thing called the tokenomics, whereby everybody will get a token allocation. But there's no token allocation here. Everything is kept in the total supply of the CTO, which can only be unlocked through the CDP. So if you were to put money into Jarvis to invest, it will actually unlock the CTOs to come back down. So that's how it works. Even for me, I hold a position.
Oh, right.
I have to put money into Jarvis itself.
Okay, all right.
So that is, see, now, if I'm a company, right, it will never work. It's because of one thing. Then I'll be calculating my overheads, all right? Let's say if I would earn 21%, my overhead is 7%. I want to cut it out. How can I pay you 18.4? Impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Because the company will always take from the revenue, right? That is why none of this works. The only way it will work is what we call a social sharing economy. Okay. I must be part of the system itself. Same with like everybody else.
Everybody else. Yeah. So how many of the cloud tokens are being produced, or are all of them being produced already? How many of them are in circulations? And
okay, at our highest peak, it was about 460 over million. But because of the bad press, a lot of, you know, in China, right? This is what I got to know, right? There's a cycle, all right? And the cycle for projects closing down is during this time. So for the last 3 weeks, there was plenty of withdrawals, plenty of conversions. We are down to about 27 million in circulation now.
Okay, so it's 27 million in circulation at the moment.
120 something million. Yeah.
So it can be more than that. See, how is control? Like, it's not going to be a more producing of cloud token then?
No, actually, the total circulation the total supply will not affect the price. It's only the total in circulation will affect the price.
Okay, because then actually that's one of the other questions that actually we're going to ask you. If the cloud token is not going to be launching in the exchange, so there's a lot of companies that have been, you know, as you say before, unfortunately, a lot of companies, they actually say that we have like a utility token, like in the private exchange, and actually they pump the price, but actually then collapse. So what is actually that make cloud token different? You know, like people can say, okay, how is the price impact in cloud token? How is the mechanism?
Think about it this way, right? You have US dollars, you have Sing dollars, you have Malaysian ringgit, you have let's say some other currencies. All of this, if it's $1, it's $1 here and everywhere. But the value of it is different because each of us we have a different foreign exchange rate, right? So this is actually something that is created by pegging to something, okay? what if, okay, you earn CTOs and you spend CTOs,
Mm-hmm.
then it's one-to-one anywhere you have. So it's a universal money
Mm-hmm.
or universal unit of measure that we can use.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was created in such a way that he wanted to create a kind of a digital currency where people can mine, means they need to work for it. You cannot buy. Bitcoin has no price before.
Mm-hmm. No.
You mine it. It's
Yeah.
1, it's 0 point something. Yes, you get it, and then you spend that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the unit. This costs 1 Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoin. But nobody will say that 1 Bitcoin is $10,000 or $20,000 then,
Yeah.
right? They said this is only 1 Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoin. That is the concept of what it should be. But it was manipulated by greed,
Yeah.
by pegging it to a price.
Unfortunately, this war, greed, destroy a lot of good programs, a lot of good projects.
So now what we do is we control that greed.
Okay.
Once it's not in exchanges, it's not manipulated. So there's no greed there. What is it controlled by? The number of investment that comes in. It's controlled by the people, by the general,
So
the participants itself.
Yeah. So basically what you're telling me is like the token itself is like in a wallet and it can't be liberated until people put money in and then you are creating the commission and you pay it into CTOs.
Yep.
Okay. So
We
that
always talk about sustainable economy. This is what creates the sustainable.
amazing. Yeah, makes sense. Now there is another question. When the card it will come out, okay? So people you see what I understood is like it's not going to be cloud token classified as a security because it's going to be exchangeable. I think somebody asked me that question, but I think I asked to myself as well, like, it's a prepaid card, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, so this is how it works, right? Visa and MasterCard, right, has very strict rules against cryptocurrency dealing with it. All right. But they keep changing their regulations. First, they actually ban all Visa and MasterCard bans you from buying. Now they say that it's okay, but they have to treat it like a gold. So no matter what, they will take a 5% interest guaranteed. Okay, that is fixed. Now, but what about prepaid cards? So you talk about 10x. 10x is a very good company that pioneered their wallet system that can actually pay using crypto of any kind, and you can just pay in fiat. But they got shut down so many times. It's not because of what? It's because of the traditional regulations of a card. They got it from Wirecard then, which is only a European supplier. Means you can only sell the cards or issue the cards to European citizens.
Actually, I have one of them. It's very useful. But
but then they actually sold it to the Asian guys and they got shut down, right?
Yeah.
They got cut. So they started to move into global cards. But global cards, you have one very big problem. The limit is very low.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of restrictions into it.
So how are you planning to do actually a card, prepaid card? What is going to be the maximum? I hear it's 40,000.
So no, actually it's 14,000, yes, but we actually kept it down to 10. So basically what you do is we actually pre-fund all the cards.
Okay. So basically how is
the cards have value.
Yeah, of course. So my question is, so the people, for example, I'm holding, let's say, 30,000 CTOs, hopefully soon. So I would like to exchange it to $10,000. So how am I gonna say? I'm gonna in the app.
So what you do is you actually you take your CTOs, you pawn it to us. We unlock a level for you, and you can use up to that level. You're not selling it to me. You can exchange it back.
So my question is like, so how am I that's gonna be, I guess, in American dollars, isn't it, in the card?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all in US dollars.
Okay, so the point is like, if I give you my CTOs and then in my car, I'm gonna have $5,000. So that $5,000, where is come from then? Who is the exchange?
It's from us. Okay. We actually pre-fund the cards.
Okay, perfect. So that how long it will take to found the card? Then it's gonna take.
The timing is about 1 day or 1.5 days, depending on, because we have not split out the process yet. Yeah, but if you pre-fund it earlier on, then it should be okay. So basically, that's what we are doing, and there are a lot of other restrictions that we cannot do. But basically, once you get the card, try use it. If there's any problems, let us know. We'll see how to do it. Yeah, same thing like the
That was another question that the people, most of them, they ask. It's like, the company itself is registered in Australia, if I'm not wrong, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
So, what it means to have a license in Australia? What is the let's say the power?
Well,
to
very simple thing is Australia is a crypto-friendly country, and you know they're going to have their first virtual bank. They already have the first virtual bank license released. We are actually gunning for a lot of these licenses in Australia. Yeah, but Australia is not a tax haven. It's quite expensive actually to operate there.
I mean, crypto friendly, but you have to have something else on another part as well. So
yeah. So you look at it this way, right? We have a lot of choices that we can choose. We can actually choose Cesar. We can choose Labuan in KL. Cesar is in Philippines. We can choose Estonia. We can choose Malta. You know, there's many places we can choose. Like Binance, they choose Malta. Did anybody ask them why you choose Malta? Are you going to run away with my money? But you look at these Malta banks, right? They're all private banks, which means that they can shut down anytime, right?
Yep.
We are actually using a Cesar license for our OTC, which is using local banks, which is government supported.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is much more safer, right?
Yeah. So basically, what you're telling me as well is like you are, I guess, as you say before, you have a legal team working like in compliance, I guess, and all the things. One question: where this team is come from? If you know, if we can discuss.
Australia, Mills Oakley. So they're the top 10 lawyers from Melbourne, top 10 firms. Yeah, Mills Oakley. Yeah.
Okay.
So like you know, all of these guys actually say bad things about us. We actually send them a cease and desist letter. Most of them.
Yeah. Okay. So is it any names that people can see, like the lawyers or the firms that are working with the cloud token?
Yeah. Yeah. You can actually go to their website, Mills Oakley. But the thing is, they're all protected, and we are all protected under the private, client privilege. Yeah. Yeah. Personal information cannot be disclosed.
Yeah. No. I
lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they will not tell you much about us.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have invited our lawyers to actually come for the event as well, because our partners, all of them will be there. Yeah.
Yep, amazing. And so before you explain me as well, but there is another question here. Like this is like, so you say there is no owner. It's kind of founders, entrepreneurs, people that start to coming into the idea. But the question here is like, are there any document available where you can verify that they said that they were an investor that joined the project early this year? Do they have on a stake of the company, or are they eventually going to make money? What is the first investors? And one of the other questions there as well, sorry, it's like as well, let's say on brackets, people say like Mr. Chen Zhao, who was involved in Plus Token, the rumors of the hater of whatever negative from there. But it's good that you clarify that to the public. People, they say that he owns Cloud Token, which is ridiculous. But, you know, I think you have the time here to clarify this.
Well, if you were to follow Mr. Shen Zhao, he has actually launched a competitor's product called S-Block. And he said that they are the real wallet. And we are a scam. He said that. Yeah, so you can actually find the video out. So how can he, own us?
Okay. So yeah, so you say before he was involved in it, but then there was like a disagreement. So basically
his involvement is this. Okay, Plus. Let's say this is Plus. This is Cloud. The only way Plus and Cloud is actually involved with Sun Zhao is he's the media partner.
Okay.
He does the media for us.
Yeah.
But he can't even do any media for us as well. So we removed him from the equation.
Okay. Perfect.
So that's the only link.
To be honest with you, I know sometimes there are some questions that the people, I think you have the question frequently, but if, as a businessman, you know, like a young businessman, I always realize that actually those biggest, that let's say annoying question, like difficult question, the best one to answer. So people can actually feel like you are very open, to be honest.
I mean, the thing is, if you try to hide something from the past, which is bound to be digged up, so might as well just go clean on it. And we all learn from our mistakes. Like for me itself, I've joined many ICOs as advisors, and a lot of them actually has closed down. But the thing is, these are all the experiences that we have been through. Is there anyone that if I never joined any of this, then you say that, oh, this guy has no experience.
Yeah.
If I join some of this, oh, he joined a ICO that failed. It's like everything will be said with something. Because the thing is, I think they're trying to attack the integrity of the person that's standing out to actually to realize a dream, which I think it's not ethical. But there's many people trying to prove themselves right. They go through all the various lengths to actually do it. But they're not like you, whereby you try to really talk and understand and listen, and then make sure that what we say is actually the truth or makes sense or not. Okay, but they don't even listen to sense.
Yep, that makes sense. So I was just trying to find out. There is another question that since SQ2 fintechs isn't part of the ecosystem anymore, what impact will have on deliveries?
So basically what happens is this, right? SQ2 was a advisory based in Singapore. I'm their CTO, of course, then. But because of the current situation, whereby they need to build projects themselves as well. I'm not involved in SQ2 for quite some time now, actually, because of the cloud project. And it's only good time for me to remove myself. But the team that I'm using is my own team. As many people don't know, all my team members actually has been with me for at least 15 years.
Oh, okay. So that's
for
for your previous company, previous
project.
So
remember I told you that my company got bought over by a Singapore-based company. So I did my stint there for about 2 years. And after my contract was completed, I bought the whole entire team out. So they have been with me since day one until now. Amazing. So some as long as 15 years.
That's a lot because to keep your team with you working for 15 years, that means like a loyalty between the team, and that's one of the biggest things.
The thing is, we don't believe in I think in the companies that I run, we don't believe in structures. Like, for example, you are the CEO, you are the CTO, or whatever. We're all in this together. So everybody do their part, okay? And because you're good in doing this, so you do this. You're good in doing that, then you do that kind of thing. Everybody chips in to actually build something. And basically, in the end of the day, whatever I get, okay, we all share it equally among everyone. Wealth is not everything, but the ability to generate wealth, that is the most important.
Amazing. And another one is like, you claim that there is like a fine Binance account, and who actually control them, and what would happen if something happened? Let's say that I don't want that to happen, but if something happened with you, because we're human, who will take the responsibility of your operation? Who's gonna
actually what happened was this, right?
I never want you to happen anything to you, but it's a question.
No. But what you said did happen, okay? So what happened was because we are trading so aggressively on Binance for my side. But before I say this, right, let's clear the air first, right? we have about 560 million in AUM. As under management, right? But not all is in one basket. Jarvis only holds 40% of it.
Okay.
So 170 mil or so actually is traded on Binance. The rest of it is split into 3 other traded providers, finance investment companies. One is actually based, 2 is actually based in Singapore, and 1 is actually a global company that has offices over in London and the rest. Okay, so it's split with all of this. So it's 40, 20, 20, 20. Okay, so the yield of the 18% is calculated based on what we actually get from across the board from all of this. And now in our Binance itself, we have 5 accounts. It's because we hit limit. The limit to transfer the asset out for withdrawals and things like that. Okay, we always hit a limit, and we gave ourselves this. We started with 1 account, just like anybody else. Okay, and the account within 2 months we hit VIP 8.
Wow. Which
because
what is the amount to hit VIP 8 then, or is it the volume?
You have to. Yeah, the volume traded for Bitcoin, you have to hit about 180,000 Bitcoins traded a month, 30 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we did a couple of months, we hit that, and we created a 2nd account.
So now it makes sense.
I think it's, yeah, so we keep rolling to the next account. Now we're on the 5th account now. So the 5th account,
actually have the access to those accounts in the case like
it's actually all within Jarvis itself, but Jarvis itself don't have the access to do withdrawals. Okay, only me, myself, and another colleague of mine, because this is purely because of the business continuity issue. In case I were to get into a crash or something, all right, there's still somebody who can access the assets. Okay, and he's the operations person that's actually handling the payouts and the rest. There is also one more set with the lawyers. Okay, that is actually making sure that in case that something happens to the company, they can actually release the asset back to the public. So that is all being done as the business community part of it. Okay, so yeah. So now talk about the Binance issue. So because we are trading so aggressively, and I was using my personal account to actually do this, right? So it was under my name, and I got an invitation to Binance Consensus September. And the other panelists were all the rest of the top financial capital investment companies. I'm the only individual there. So this excitement I shared with some leaders, and MLM leaders will do anything. So I'm not sure how it got leaked out, and they started posting it out. And before I actually can get them to actually remove it, some hater or some guys, they snapped it and sent it to Binance. And CZ said that he doesn't know cloud. Of course he doesn't know cloud. I've been trading under my name. But CZ actually not CZ, but one of Binance, they said that maybe there might be a trader that is like that. So he actually did explain that about us. And that's after we sent them a lawyer letter.
Wow.
Because they locked all our 5 accounts. All our 5 accounts got frozen.
Oof. So how long it takes to actually resolve it?
And we asked Binance why was it frozen. They said that because of because of news from social media saying that we are scammed. So our lawyers wrote them back that Binance listened to rumors and then shot a lot of stuff to them. They took 5 days to unlock our account. Now we are going after them to pay us compensation back for the 5 days.
Of course.
That are the 5 most tedious and troublesome days of all.
I can imagine.
Because our system was based on Binance to do the payout, we have to unlock from our other finance, our capital companies, to break a lot of contracts, because we are under contract with all of them. We're to break our contracts to actually take funds out to do all the withdrawals and conversions. All right. It's terrible.
Can actually the people that is participating in the project to know the name of the other companies that you are like dealing with, or if they see?
I need to check. But most of this we cannot share because it's more of the trade secrets. We don't want people to actually do it, but I can assure you that they have been in this business for a very, very long time. All right. 2 in Singapore, actually all three in Singapore, but one is actually an international-based capital investment company.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll invite all of them to the event. They'll all be sitting on one table.
So is it gonna be any way like yourself and the team is gonna, let's say, like a show to the public any like trading record of what you're doing?
Yeah. One of the things that I mean, the simplest way is I just pull out one page from Binance to say that how we get to VIP8.
Okay.
That itself will tell, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I see the volume, done.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
But some people are saying that we don't even trade. It's like, how can I not trade and I get this volume? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How can I not trade and become a VIP 7 or 8?
Is a person can go, let's say, send an email to Binance and ask like, is that true that the company Cloud Token is trading with you, for example?
Okay, so the thing is, they all can do this, but it's up to Binance to really answer you or not. Okay, so the thing is, we are all under certain restrictions to actually show what we can show or not what we can show and things like that. Of course, now the lawyers are being much more harsh on us. On what we can share or not online. Yeah. But we're trying to work around it. Because the whole idea is to not follow conformity in the sake of being less transparent. That's not how we should be. Because
the point, as I see Cloud Token, as you explain me the idea behind the trading, you have the licensing in Australia, the prepaid card, and you have the legal
SIM cards.
So it's all this is coming. It sounds really great, and for sure it's gonna be a success. And it is a success because you are almost hitting the 1 million informal. So I guess for people, the more clarity it is, the more happy they're gonna come on, to be a part of the community. Because believe me, in my side, for example, for the Latin American market, that's why I'm saying thank you for the interview. People, as soon as we get the trust, you have the market. I know my people.
Yeah, I mean, for us is this, okay, the end goal or the goal is not to actually build Jarvis so we can earn money for everyone and things like that. It's not that. It's that we identify in the crypto world, the crypto market itself, what can actually make a profit, okay? And we pull together, or I cannot use the word pool, sorry. We join together. It's very weird, right? All the things that I've been shot with. We share together our resources or our efforts together as a team to actually gain more revenue or assets from the crypto world. One of the things that we actually are looking in is actually compounded financing and Celsius network and all the lending that's being done throughout the exchange community. So basically, all of this add together, right? We are talking about they're all looking at maybe the highest you can go is about 14% per annum or so. All right, for certain term. The terms sometimes are short, sometimes are long, sometimes like 14 days, some are like a month and things like that. So when what we did was we actually aggregated 8 of these hubs, okay, together, and we did a test. We actually threw in a lot of contracts in there. And we can get a yield of about 1.3 or 1.4% a month. okay, based on all of this.
Yep.
But 1.3 and 1.4%, right? It's not really a lot. If you put in, let's say, $10, right? You're only getting like how many cents back, right? But what we did was this cool project called Rogue, which is actually targeted for the less affordable markets, or the spending power a bit lower, right?
Okay.
So basically, what they can do is they can invest $1 a day, okay, $1 a day into this, or maybe $1 a day into this project. And every day they get because one contract is 30 days, right? So if you give me $30, you have a chance of a raffle to win up to maybe 100 overtimes, whatever you put in. So basically, if I have 10 million members, let's say I have 1 million member, right? 1 million members give me $1 a day. That's $1 million, okay, or $30 million. Sorry, $30 million, but it's $1 million maturing a day, and at 1.4%, that is 14,000. I choose 10 winners, or I choose 100 winners, so you get 100 times, or 1,000 times, right? But the thing is,
that program that you're gonna launch in the
that's we're launch.
When
the thing,
expecting to
soon, very soon. We're testing it now, and the thing seems fine.
Amazing.
But one thing cool is, those that actually don't win, right, don't lose your capital. Your $1 is still in there. Your $30 is still in there.
Oh, okay, great.
So it keeps running, it keeps compounding, it keeps rolling inside that.
Okay.
And once you actually make enough money, you can actually switch to Jarvis.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Amazing. Because I think it's good because as well you give it the chance to people that they don't have, let's say the exposure to capital, and that's one of my aim to help like people that they don't have that much money, but they can as well benefit from it. So that's good.
We try to reach the financially excluded, the unbanked. I always say this, right? Visa and MasterCard, they took 50 years to cover the whole entire world, okay? But it's only the financially included, those with bank accounts, those with credits.
Billion, sorry.
Then you're talking about PayPal, okay? They took 12 years, 13 years. They covered the whole entire world through their internet gateways and things like that. 12 years. They built an empire of 125 billion in market cap in 12 years. Cloud is going to do it in 3 years. We're going to cover the entire world, 100 million members or customers with 1.5 million networkers, 20 million merchants through the programs that we're going to run. Okay. And we're going to do it in 3 years. And we're going to cover both the bank and unbanked, but mostly the unbanked. And the strategy to do it is through our cloud SIM offerings. So, for example, now you have to pay for your data services or your telco services, okay? But if you were to join the cloud SIM project itself, okay, you will not need to pay for your data services anymore, because the money that you put in will be actually compounding interest for you to actually pay for the service itself. So you're actually getting data for free. And if you can get data for free, you will actually get your friends or your neighbors all to use it, right? So now I have a lot of people using my cloud SIMs with the cloud wallet running. So these are the consumer groups. When consumer groups have a wallet, they will need merchants to actually start supporting it. And merchants itself, because the economy is not really good, they need to look for viable businesses to actually increase their revenue. And one of the things that we let them do is, now all of them become a cash point. A cash point, which means that now I have a lot of migrant workers. Let's say, for example, let's look at Malaysia. 6 million migrant workers, mostly from Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, and all sorts of places, right? So we have members in all of these places as well. And if our networkers in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh were to sign up the merchants over there, and the migrant workers in Malaysia itself were to use us as a remittance service.
Wow.
First, if they were to use other remittance services, it's about the cheapest you can get is about 4%. All right.
And you've been very generous. 5, 6, 7, 10.
Ours is crypto to crypto, 1% each side. That's it.
Yeah. And you know that this is one of the things that I gotta be very open with you in this topic. Like because I've been working in the financial market, when I see how banks benefit from unbanking countries, believe me, that made me get very sad how the world is and how the banking system works. I'm very angry because, you know, like people like in Africa, or in South America, in Asia, like, you know, there are 1.6 billion people, person in the world, and just 1.5 of them have access to bank, but 4 billion of them have access to internet. So that is the magic of when the cryptocurrencies come, and now when the cloud token idea as well, I see like a brilliant future. And that was the last question I was going to ask you, like, where do you see cloud token in 5, 10 years? What do you want the people to remember Ronald in 10 years? How do you want to see yourself?
Well, the thing is, I always have this dream to actually cover the unbankable, to give the unbanked a voice, which are not given any chance at all. So this is the way which I can actually do my part for the society, and also to really, really achieve what I think I'm meant out to do.
Amen. So I think this is a very, let's say, honorable mission, and believe me, for my size and my team, we're gonna do everything on our hands to put a little bit of sand to this project. And I guess with that, I just want to tell you thank you very much for your time, and you've been very honest and open, and I think this is what the people is looking for. And I think we are after this interview, if before I was 100% on the project, now I'm 1,000,000%. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and believe me, the Americans are gonna give you a very big welcome once we're gonna be around the sun events there, and I think the as well can see this interview. So God bless you. Thank you very much again, and have a good, beautiful evening. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. By the way, today is the Mid-Autumn Festival in Asia. So we actually, families would actually gather around, and they will have dinner and enjoy mooncakes. So it's a festive season. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So enjoy it then. So one day I have in China, but I hope I would like to go there one day in this kind of events and be part of the Chinese community.
Yeah. So okay. Thanks for having me to hear my side of the story, and hopefully let's change the world together. Yeah,
of course we will do it. And by the way, I'm gonna have the honor to meet you in person now in Malaysia. Yesterday I just booked my ticket, so
good.
I'm gonna see you there, and I'm gonna be with my team as well in Malaysia. So again, God bless you, and thank you very much for your time.
Okay, bye-bye.